Yeah, training's been good. I think we had the opportunity to sort of learn and reflect from the game versus New England. A game that we definitely wanted to get, I would say, 3 points out of. I think one that we had opportunities to get 3 points from. So, again, just trying to build on a few of the positives that come out of that game and, continue to get better. It's still early stages of the season, and it's an opportunity for us to go on the road against a really good Red Bull team, a team that was in the final last year, have made some really nice additions in the off season, and we're expecting a difficult challenge game that they're now. As much as it's the first game on the road for us, it's their first home opener. So, the team that'll bring, I'm sure, a lot of energy. It'll have a lot of fan support behind them. But it'll be a nice challenge and test for us.
Thanks, Coach. We'll start with Ben and just go down the line and go ahead and ask your question and a follow-up if you have one.
Yeah, just looking back at Saturday, I know you talked about kind of how pleased you were with the ability to plug in guys like Wyatt and Matt and just get results. I think you talked about how kind of it was maybe proof of concept, or this is kind of what fans can expect from Nashville. Just looking back on their debuts, how not just how pleased are you with the debuts, but how does it kind of settle any some concerns about depth going forward, just seeing them be able to step in and perform at that level?
Yeah, I think you're really pleased, right? I mean, these are big moments for players to play their first sort of, I'll call it, professional game. For us and and that idea, and so it gives us great confidence and gives them great confidence that they're going to be that they're prepared and that they belong here, and we know that. But I think having the opportunity to play on the field and perform is like that last little bit of self-belief, and I think it's going to it'll pay huge dividends for us as we hit kind of the middle of the season, which I always think is like the forgotten part of a year. There's always so much excitement when everyone is in the beginning, and then when you're in the end and there's the playoffs, there's all that excitement, but there's this huge piece in the middle where you start playing Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday games, and the density starts to go where you really call upon your depth. And for those guys to get the experience now, we'll reap the rewards later.
How much do the road trips, when it comes to the preseason training, help with, at least early on, living out of a suitcase, being on the road, and having to expect to perform early in the season?
Yeah, we intentionally designed I would call it like a dry run, where we left Florida, match day -1, flew to Austin, checked into the hotel, set your hotel up, get comfortable moving into your room, and even the support staff and everybody kind of doing it. So we intentionally did that to create that comfortability. So it's not our first road trip. We have a lot of new players. We have a lot of new staff, and so that was a great, I would say, opportunity and ability for us to reflect and learn and iron out a few kinks because players and staff are like cultures of habit. And so you want to make sure that you can prepare each guy properly so that it's not technically feels like our first road trip. But I think, there's always unexpected things that can occur. But I think we're a well-oiled machine at this point, and we're prepared for it.
BJ, during the preseason, you mentioned how you weren't really focused on gearing up for a specific opponent in a game. Just you wanted to focus more on how your team was playing, how you would adapt to situations during games. Does that start to change now going into the regular season, especially now you're going into a game where the other team now has a full game of regular season film, stuff to look for, stuff to watch for you guys?
Yeah, I think it's always a balancing act. Each opponent is going to bring their own unique style and their own unique challenges to what we're going to try to do. I think, but we're going to continue to stay focused on what we believe in and executing how we want to do it. And you might have to make a few tweaks or adjustments to how you're going to do it, but not what we're going to do. For us, it's we have an idea on what how we want to play. We're going to continue to try to execute it, but we're not naive enough to know that the opponent is trying to stop us, and they're going to bring they're going to have their own unique way of doing it. So it's just about making sure we're clear with our preparation.
BJ, what did you learn after having time to analyze the tape from the game about this team?
Yeah, I thought the team was really organized defensively, hard to play through. So very happy about that. That I think we limited opportunities for the opponent to hurt us. I think we got ourselves in positions to hurt the opponent and create goal scoring opportunities. But at the same time, I think we needed to be more ruthless, both in finishing the opportunities that we created and also potentially creating more and trying to take the next step of not only controlling the opponent and being hard to play against, but also provoking them into making some more mistakes and try to create even more scoring chances. So for us, that's kind of been the focus of the week.
Nashville SC have never won against the Red Bulls in 6 tries, I believe. The Red Bulls have a very specific style. It's energy. It's a lot of pressing. What steps are you taking? Did you take this week to kind of combat that, and what are you doing technically without giving away anything crazy? Yes.
Thanks for the out. No, listen. I think we have we like everybody else have our process on how we evaluate the opponent, and so I think you're right. They have a very clear identity. They're well coached. They've now been doing this together for a little bit of time, and I think they're going to present some unique challenges to us with the aggressiveness that they want to play. They want to play behind your back line. They want to press you a little up the field. And we just have to be prepared for it. We just have to be calm. We have to understand that if we still want the ball, we're going to have to be able to play through them. And if we can do that at a high level, there'll be opportunities to create goal scoring chances. And that's the whole week is just to sort of expect that, not be caught by surprise, but also to be confident and calm and connected to one another to still be able to execute the way Nashville wants to play.
So, and I know you're probably tired of answering this question, but you had a good amount of players out last weekend. I think off the top of my head, Yazbek, Schaffelberg, Acosta, and Brugman are the big ones. What is the health report there, and where are they in their sort of recovery?
Yeah, Yazbek, Brugman are back in team training in a capacity. Schaffelberg is like in the beginning parts of the team training. Julian Gaines is still out of team training.
Julian? Last week before the first match, you were talking about how sometimes it'll look great and sometimes it might not look as pretty when you guys are trying to build team chemistry and build this culture that you want to try to establish here. How do you balance knowing that it's going to take time, but also being results-based still?
Yeah, and I would reflect back to the New England game where I thought there was periods of time that we played well. There were some periods that we could have improved, but at the same time, we are not happy with the draw at home. And so for us, it's we will never allow the lack of a result to permeate into our culture and use it as justification or rationalizing or things in our environment. We're not going to rationalize or justify as like why we didn't get the result or saying that it's okay we didn't get the result. We understand the business that we're in. We understand the commitment to the fans that we have, and that is to win games. Now, that doesn't mean we deviate away from what we want to do and who we want to be, but that won't creep into our culture. We know that we want 3 points when we step out on the field.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask kind of about the setup on Saturday. It felt like you guys were trying to make the game really compact, especially sideline to sideline. There are times where kind of that opposite side wide midfielder would slide all the way across. I'm just kind of curious about maybe the reasoning behind that approach, and is that something that you're hoping to kind of implement going forward, or was that more of just a specific thing that you saw against New England?
No, I think in general that's we want to create close connections amongst the players. So we from a larger perspective, we know that we want to try to create overloads on the field, and you also attract the opponent to unbalance and disorganize them, and then to try and break that and create goal scoring opportunities when we're able to find space. So part of that is yes, it's trying to create connections and close partnerships with one another, but at the same time, it's also trying to, attract the opponent into certain areas so that we can hopefully, get to other areas and get to goal. So it's certainly part of what we are doing, and now just finding, I would say, a variety of ways to stay, to execute that.